Well, hello, hello.
Hey everybody, how we doing tonight? We have the Peña Perspective, our favorite guest, have on. How you doing tonight?
Better after you said that. I've got a bruised rib from soccer, so anything to pick up my spirits is always a good thing. Um, but yeah, all's good in the world of whatever matrix reality this is. What was the topic that we were going to be talking about today? Holographic universe or something like that?
No, I'm actually opening up the chat to anybody who wants to jump in and pick a topic. But basically, I wanted to talk to a few of our people once they get in, our regulars. But yeah, I had a little bit of a occurrence the other night, and basically I had to put some reassurance in the defenses and make sure that I could block some of these trolls. That's basically all they are. That's the best way to describe them.
That's a very good way to describe them, especially if you go back to the etymology of trolls and you know exactly what trolls are. I mean, you might be very well on cue. These would be digital trolls in that case. However, yeah, always build up the defenses. You're learning, you're growing, you're evolving, you're getting down nitty gritty into it. I mean, congratulations. You and I are now establishing a certain 2-time-a-week standard. Thursday's my day, but Monday's been shaping up to be pretty good too.
I've never seen or gotten an attack like that before, and I'm like, all right, who's my go-to guy that can hang in there with me? Like if I need to be doing stuff and I need him to talk while I'm doing stuff offline, or if I need conversation.
Wait. You want me to talk? Oh my, no.
Oh yeah, there's so many pauses tonight. But no, man, I really do appreciate you being on the channel. That's why I asked you to help me with this, because I was just at a lack of words the other day, and I was trying to do stuff while trying to run an interview, and at the same time, I know you could run an interview all by yourself without me involved. So at the same time, you're one of my favorite go-to guys to have on cue, and you've always been there in the thick and thin of it. So that's why
I'm there for you, brother.
Yeah, we've experienced a lot of firsts together on this channel. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And yeah, well, it's always a learning experience, and it's always, hey, Mud Rabbit, nice to have you on. Now I'm here, Mud Rabbit's here. So, Mr. Jacob, you wanted to speak to us, sir?
Yes, I wanted to just kind of let Mud Rabbit know what happened the other night. The other night I went on a live, and some people absolutely flooded the chat. And I realized the only moderator I have is Mud Rabbit, and she's actually not here tonight. So I had to basically redo the whole structure of how I had things when it came to comments. They flooded the chat with basically, I don't know, 130 messages in less than a minute. It was absolutely insane. It blew my mind. I've never seen an assault like that on anybody's channel. They were creating accounts by the second, and I can't do much from my end when I'm doing it from StreamYard. So I had to shut it down. They were giving away personal information of some of our regular subscribers, and it was just horrible. It was just horrible. And so I deleted the whole video. I don't want anybody to see it. That's why you probably can't see it, that we were on last night. And then I ended up creating a second video where I jumped on and I said, I need my regulars to jump in. And Terry jumped on and Olivia jumped on. And basically I gave them moderation because I wanted them to be able to help me in that situation. And then I did a little research and I found this thing called Nightbot. And basically what it does is it's a robot that's supposed to protect your chat. So I just want to make sure this doesn't happen to anybody ever again, because it's really hard. I didn't know how to navigate it at the time. So we ended up just having to delete everything. And Michael, she was wondering if you cut your hair.
No, it's called I just played soccer, so I took a shower.
Mine's not cut, I don't think.
No, you did do a cut. That was a while ago, but anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonders what water does to hair. I mean, it's incredible. It's a good idea to wash it from time to time.
Yeah, it was last
Yeah.
night.
Yeah. I was working last night. I didn't
You
even
must.
sleep last night. I pulled an all-nighter trying to finish what I was supposed to do on Thursday.
Well, I'm glad you got it all knocked out, because I wanted you to come on today where we can figure it out. But
Oh,
now,
no worries. I got that knocked out, but more got jammed on. So, but anyway, they put me on ice for like a month and a half, 2 months. I got no problem with that. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Money wasn't always the biggest thing, but at the same time, there's other things that I'm able and capable of doing. And whenever you get stuck in that rut, you can't get out of it. And it's easy to fall back into it. And then that's just what you are forever. And that's not me. Then again, what am I? I have no fucking clue. So, hey, we're here. I'm pushing 50. I'm still trying to figure out who the hell I am. Oh yeah, last night you mean? Yeah, you probably were on late.
Yeah, it seemed like I think we wrapped up the last one around midnight. We started around 10, I think.
Yeah, you probably were on late.
Me and Joey started our show around 10. It seemed like Sorry about that. Hold on a second. We wrapped up the last one around midnight. Got too much going on. Sorry. All right, should be all fixed now. Sorry about that.
Now you're starting to look like Red Pill. You know, you got 5 different screens that you're looking at. You're checking this thing. You're checking the other thing.
Well, I got too much going on. I gotta make sure all this works now. He said, yes, you need more moderators. Well, now that I got this bot, it's monitored everything that you said, Mud Rabbit. It's monitored everything that me and you have said. It will actually go back and edit certain words and phrases out of the whole Discord. I have it 100% figured out now, and that's what today was for. I basically set it up the same way that me and Joey had it, so that people could join. I got the stream link shared in the description. If people want to join in and add anything to our topics, they're more than welcome to. My robot is going to throw out anything bad you say, and I guarantee it's going to work. I can already see him monitoring everything. I just double checked back. That's the other screen I was just looking at. So, yeah.
Wonders of AI.
I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about it. And all of my moderators, like Mud Rabbit and everybody else, they have immunity to the robot.
Oh yeah. But Mud Rabbit, he's only 1 hour behind you. I'm 1 hour ahead of you.
Oh yeah, sorry. It was
Mud Rabbit is Eastern time, you're Central time, and I'm Eastern +1. Okay, another jumping around. Bots are interesting. That's actually one of the first the first video that I did on my channel was about the fact that the kids were playing on, I think at that time it was a Wii or something like that. They were basically following commands, giving information and all that kind of stuff. And they were fun. They were having fun. All the kids were just playing and having a good time. But at the same time, in my video, I talked about, the fact that we're feeding information into the system the entire time. And it just runs algorithms to try and figure out how it is that people do. Now, the military yesterday came out and said that the Pentagon has an AI system that can predict, 1 or 2 days in advance, can predict troop movements and that sort of thing 1 or 2 days in advance, looking at parameters that the
I feel
AI
like that's really possible. We have homing when it comes to some of our missiles that are DNA based. Like we have very advanced technology that's just public knowledge.
DNA based, yeah. And then you got the little bugs that just
robot bugs that we have now. Those are really interesting.
No, but the ones that are the directed explosives, so they just land on the back of your head, and before you tap, it actually taps on you. So it's yeah. Looking Glass Tech also, that's old school. No, exactly. But it is old school because this is what, 3.5
But I
years
just
ago?
think about when they're talking about like actual public knowledge. I feel like most of the Looking Glass Tech isn't public knowledge. They try to keep it as covered up as possible.
Yeah, however, sometimes if you really dig and you go into different corners and everything else, you find stuff. I mean, I used to do that at the library. Nowadays on the internet, it's a lot easier. So you actually do find stuff. Everybody asks me, "Oh, where's the proof?" Man, just look. I've got 452 videos just of stuff that I say, "Oh, that's interesting for me to put in a chapter in my book somewhere." That's just the stuff that I put there. Then I got favorites, everything else. How am I going to remember which one that, oh yeah, but I reference a TED Talk from 2015 to where P was the problem for the C problem. And then you had 2017 to where he was talking to the Pentagon about locating the area in the brain that stimulates fanaticism and having a way to be able to hopefully neutralize that area so that they would be less radical. And actually, that wasn't 2017, that was 2007 that he did that. So they're much more advanced. I'm sure that they haven't had the opportunity to put graphene into people's bodies so that it could migrate to certain places and react to certain frequencies connected to towers for advanced cellular use.
Looking Glass is now public knowledge. Apparently, it can show somebody possibilities of the future.
The problem is whenever the person who uses it has to put their own tendencies in there, and so it's not necessarily 100% true. It's running the algorithms of the options that you would make, and it's
and that's what I mean. What future? And that's what I always wonder is what future are you looking into?
Yeah, exactly.
Looking at a possibility of futures, like we've talked about before. Me and you kind of have the same belief when it comes to the multiverse theory. When I feel like if you're thinking about it as a bowl of marbles, and maybe our universe is in the center of that, I think all of the universes surrounding that are relatively close to our own. And then the farther you get away, you might be into something else, like it farther and farther away from your own universe.
And could we consider that dark matter?
What? Could we consider what dark matter?
All those parallelities that we create with the binary choice that we have in life. Yes, no. Red, green. You make a choice, and it usually can be broken down into binary choices. Little yes, no questions. Do I like this one? No. Do I like that one? No. Do I like that one? Yes. Okay. Do I want to wear it today? No. Do I like this one? Yes. Okay, I'll wear that one. They're little choices, and they're broken down into yes or no questions, generally. Okay? And each one of those generates possibility of, hey, today I wore wool socks, but you know what? There's a version of me that didn't fucking wear socks at all. So, there's another version that's in sandals and shorts because fuck it, they're all possible. But like you're saying, the one closest to you, those ones that basically you pop off into, but you're kind of creating another multiverse, but you're jumping into another tangent of the multiverse. In other words, they all exist. We're just jumping our way through the maze.
Yeah, and that's why I say whatever thing you're looking at in the Looking Glass, it's a possibility of several outcomes. You never know which one you're actually going. If you're watching the one that is going to take place, or one that is a possible outcome.
There's so many great movies just on that topic itself. There are 3 that pop to mind, and I don't know the name of any of them. It's just so fucking bizarre because you scan through and you watch. And I used to watch HBO, Showtime, and all that kind of stuff all the time, and I'd spend just days in the movie theaters. When I was a kid, I spent the entire summer there. I'd get in at noon and leave at 10. Good times, the things that were able to be done at one point. However, the idea that our perspective will define it, but at the same time, there is a fixed future. all probabilities result into the same anomaly, or there's always an end question. For example, the quantum computer. The quantum computer, whenever you're searching through a database on a computer nowadays, what you do is you go cell through cell, and it's linear. And if you have more RAM, then you can process more data at the same time. If you have a higher speed processor, you can do it a lot faster. And so, but we're still doing it linearly. We're just scanning it a whole hell of a lot faster than what we did before. But the quantum computer doesn't go linear. It scans all of them at the same time and then comes back with the best answer. And that's the whole thing, because you get into the probabilities. Yeah, there are lots of possibilities, but what are the ultimate probabilities? Because that's where the wave's going to go. You can try and swim against the wave, but the wave's going to go where the wave's going to go. See what I'm saying? You can do a surfboard, you can do a kite surf, you can parasail, or you can just wait for it to crash on the beach when you're sitting there sunbathing or whatever. The wave's going to do what it's going to do. You can do with it as you wish, but the wave's going to do what it's going to do. Time is going to do what it's going to do. Which one of those multiple paths we want to go down is a result of the cumulative choices and decisions of everybody on this planet. And that's a lot of us, 7.5 billion, going up to 9.5 billion, or maybe going down to 5.5 or 4.8, depending on whose version of the looking glass wins. Because their agenda is to reduce the P so that carbon isn't as much of a problem. And we're also easier to control that way. And they've got it all anyway, so why bother? And the other possibility is that we get another chance and we're free, and we need to learn to manage it better, not fall into the same traps as always. Because whenever we want others to do things for us, we cede power to them. It makes life easier, it makes life more comfortable, but at the same time, you can't do what you do. And that liberty, that freedom is what made capitalism great. It's what made the United States great. It's that freedom of expanding. The cities were becoming congested. New York, Boston, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, they were all jammed and everything else, and people had to go somewhere else. And so go west, young man, go west. And that freedom of having, lots of them died because, fuck, it ain't easy. But still, we built a whole freaking nation on that freedom of, you want to tell me what to do? Hell no, I'll go somewhere else and I'll do my own thing. That's what we're all about. It's the individual freedom to do. I mean, people don't do things that I agree with, but then again, I'm not king. Who the hell am I? I have an opinion, and I do the things that I believe according to mine. But then again, obviously, it's not always that way, as is the case. Things happen. Nobody's perfect, and but you learn from it. You brush it off. You walk on. You try not to repeat it. You try and be a better person tomorrow. We're not, perfect. I'm not saying that I can do anything that I want because somebody's already paid for my credit card. It's not about that. It's about not building up the debt to begin with. Now, if you happen to not be able to, well, there's a little, that emergency emergency savings account that you got normally that you dip into to get you past that hump. And that's what it's about. Now, a lot of people don't even want that bank account. And unfortunately, it's there for everyone, but they choose not to do it. And that's okay. That's free will. However, the consequences of free will are
what they are.
We are social animals. We're supposed to be able to live and grow in community, because individually we can't survive in this world. There are too many difficulties and things that we simply,
Well, I feel like there's too many possible outcomes where you wouldn't be able to predict if you're actually picking the right one, even if you saw a future, if you got future information, how would you know that you're actually taking the right steps to get to that?
Well, then you have to go by the GPS theory. You get lots of different people to look into the machine in lots of different ways. And the one that has the highest probability, the one that they all have a commonality in, that will probably be one event that includes them all, which would be the probabilistic future event that they're looking for. And so, yeah, you can build on that. And it's all theoretical anyway, because science is that anyway. You know, psychology is theoretical. Nothing of that is proven. But, you know, they serve their purpose on their certain levels. They're not focusing on one or the other, all of them in general, because they are all encompassing and part of the whole. You've got to understand the whole in order to be able to walk your own path, because otherwise you can't see the forest for the trees, literally. There's lots of times we get stuck on that tree and we get stuck on that bark and we get specialized and specific and we can't see nothing else. And when we back up and we look and we can ponder and perceive the greater glory of existence. I mean, this planet is wonderful. If people actually cared about it and they paid attention, we run after things of the world, this materialistic stuff. We buy. I mean, there's this George Carlin bit that I absolutely love. You guys gotta look it up. His bit on stuff. Oh God, stuff. Just stuff. We gotta have stuff, and then we buy a house so we can put all our stuff in it, right? And so we get more stuff, and we get so much stuff that we have to build a bigger house so we can stuff more stuff into it, you know. But after a while, you go on vacation, so you take less stuff with you. And he starts naming off the different stuff that he goes, and the further he goes on, the shorter the list becomes, and the more necessary, and the more the things that you really, really need to get by. And at the end, it's a real simple idea. He's in this villa in Maui after having 5 different jumps, and so he's down to his last, you know, toothbrush, you know, pair of underwear, and I gotta pull that up and watch it again because I love that fucking bit. But that's basically what it is. We like to have stuff. Oh yeah. 10 times more stuff, yeah. Yeah. From a fiber art shop, man, that was a lot of stuff in there. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. But why do we build it up? They're memories. Yeah, I got a problem with getting rid of stuff because I don't have that much stuff, to be honest with you, because I haven't accumulated. I buy what I like and I keep it. This, for example, I bought this the very first winter that I came to Brazil. Started living here and that sort of stuff. Went to, this is a textile area and that sort of stuff. And, you know, we just went into the little, you know, Centro Eventos. It's like an auditorium or a fairgrounds or something. It's a convention center. Let's put it that way. And so we went there and saw the different, you know, I bought some leather goods from an Ecuadorian that was actually shown there. And this thing was really cheap and it was comfortable, decent. You know, I wasn't whatever. That is 23 years ago. So wow. This shirt right here is
long-lasting shirt.
Huh?
Have you ever worked in it, or does it just hang on the shelf?
No, I wear it all the time.
Okay, I was gonna say because I don't know. I've never had any clothes last that long.
Oh, majority of my clothes last that long.
Not to lie, actually my Abercrombie clothes were actually more well built than any other clothes. I actually got them for free from a family member after they grew out of them. And gave me like 40 pairs of jeans for free. And those lasted longer than any other pair. Like Levi, it outlasted the Levi's. It outlasted the only thing comparable, I would say, are Carhartts and maybe Dickies. But
no, I'm a Levi's guy. I don't. You got 2 mules pushing in each direction. All right, those are my jeans.
Mud Rabbit says,
no,
I have two hoodies from 1972.
Chess King. Oh, definitely. I mean, you got some memories. So I'm not even going to ask how old you were when I was born, because that's my birthday. Holy crap, or birth year. Yeah, that's been a while. That's man. My dad's still holding on to some of my stuff, and I'll freaking be mad if he actually gets rid of them. But I don't like button flies. I prefer zippers, but so I like the 505s. Yeah, 56. Now, Levi's been around for forever, and the thing is, they just fit. That's the whole thing. They're comfortable.
No, I got Levi's. They just tear faster than my other ones. They don't take as much wear and tear. You got to be more delicate in my Levi's than I do in my other pants.
Seriously, I never had that problem. I mean,
because I don't consider any pants dress pants unless they're like black, like nice slacks, or tan, like nice slacks. Like I don't.
Oh no, jeans aren't dress pants. Jeans.
Yeah,
jeans
no. But people do treat a $65 pair of jeans that they paid for like dress pants. You know what I mean? That's not something you want to go tear up. But I was surprised that I was able to put that money into. Well, I didn't put any money into them. I got them for free in a garbage bag. But when they were given to me, I was able to make them last as long as they did, and they were $65 pair of pants that somebody else had wore for 2 years. Like I was able to make these hand-me-downs last for another 6 years. I still have at least half of them.
And all right, is life better with or without all the garbage? But see, that's the thing. The world is going to go right now, according to the official papers and everything else. We've got inflation numbers that are starting to go up, and it's not just an American thing. This is all over the fucking planet because that quantitative easing went throughout the entire globe, and China's doing the same thing because they got to shore their stuff up, and they're full of debt and everything else, and everything's about to freaking implode. And what that creates is inflation and hyperinflation. Now, I've seen it in Mexico. They've experienced it here in Brazil. The horror stories of you just have to figure out what is the basic. What is it that you need to live? Get it, stock it up, and just enjoy. Terry, nice to have you on. Jacob, you got anything you got to say to Terry?
Well, Terry might not have caught the beginning of the clip, but I was going to ask Terry if he had anything to say to you, because Terry is one of the few people that was on with me last night that I want to address it with. Is Terry was like, this is one of the strangest things I've ever seen. The crazy attack that happened. He had never witnessed it before either, because Terry, I just wanted to let you know I have a bot. It's working right now. I have a robot doing all the stuff. It's already screened everything that we've talked about. It's got a ranking for who's done the most chatting. And, I'm super excited about this new program that I got that's running on the
Oh, no, you're going to have statistics on me. Holy shit.
I got statistics.
Going to say how many times I interrupt?
Well, no, it doesn't do that.
Mud Rabbit. Nah, dirt that ain't that old.
Oh, come on. That's not nice. Says the 50-plus-year-old man.
No, you just opened up for that joke. Sorry. It's sorry. One of those vaudeville gags. But anyway, sorry, Mud Rabbit. I love you. The information that I have.
Sorry,
the information that I have didn't come from people my age or people immediately above me. My great grandmother was around when she'd be the one at home making me macaroni and hamburger and macaroni and cheese, mac and cheese. Holy crap. She wasn't a great cook, but she made it with love for me. And the stories that she would tell me and her perspective and the difficulties she had at her age and everything else made me understand that, hey, I'm me at this age, but eventually I could be like that. So let's see what we can do to make it better. What she, And so they've got these perspectives to where dad was always running, going, gunning, and he's pulling the family along. And granny can't, or great grandma actually, can't necessarily hang with going 10 hours a day without eating. So, and all my grandmothers and everything else, those are the ones that base me. And the rest is history. I can't talk to people my age. They don't understand me. Anyway. All right. Thank you, Mud Rabbit. It was
we appreciate you, Mud Rabbit. I love having you here, and I love your Discord as well. You have great questions and great comments. I appreciate it.
How many times has she kept us going? Just with the commentaries. And
just to else. give you a taste, Mud Rabbit. It was a full-on outright DDoS attack, both in chat and through his video chat. It was insane. It was absolutely insane. And I'm being respectful to everybody in the Discord. I don't want anybody to feel offended. I'm not sharing all the messages. I just don't want any problems for anybody.
Well, you got to sleep sometime.
Yeah, no, and it was my fault for not making more moderators. That's what I've been saying since the beginning. I should have had more moderators. The only one I had set in place was Mud Rabbit, because I've seen Mud Rabbit do it before. And at the same time, once I saw all those people pop in, I know that Olivia and Terry could have knocked it out. So I immediately made them moderators. Oh, and at the same time, Terry, I know you just jumped in, but I didn't get a chance to tell you. So I was trying to add the Nightbot to the bot that I have that's moderating to the server. And when I did, I accidentally deleted your name. So I have to go back and add you to a moderator again. I apologize ahead of time in case you got on and you were like, if I did something wrong, I'm sorry.
I wasn't even a mod yet.
Well, and that's what I told you as soon as you got on. Once I realized this problem happened, and I realized I've never had something like this happen where I had to have that many moderators ready. So that's why I told you when we first got on, I would have loved to have you jump in live, and we'll get you set up as a moderator too. I got to get Terry set up again. For some reason,
that just means that you got your own trolls, man. Holy cow, you're going up in the world.
Oh my goodness, it was wild. It was wild. We've never had
you got your own trolls, buddy.
Yeah, I guess it's just positive. Sorry, I got a bulldog that likes to run random right next to my house.
Oh, okay. So it's not even yours.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't have any dogs.
Hi, Tiffany. Hello. Nice to see you on tonight. Yeah. Be happy you missed it.
Yeah. No, there was nothing good about that show. I mean, besides me and Joey, I thought me and Joey had really good conversation, but then at the same time, it went off the rails as soon as all these people tried to take it there. It was wild.
Bizarre.
Yeah, I'm trying my best. And this is the first time if anything, I think of it as a learning experience. I just feel bad for some of the people that had to deal with it, and I'll just leave it at that,
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the things that I wanted to mention. If you're not striking a nerve, somebody's listening, and somebody's not listening, but bothered by it enough to try and do something to jack up your channel. So you must be doing something right, or you're touching some kind of nerve. So either kudos or what you doing, boy?
So now I can give stats on everybody. Just want to let everybody know Mud Rabbit's the top chatter, and she's holding the crown right now.
All right. Well, is that any
and I also have a top command for people that are making bad comments. Somebody already tried to come on and make one bad comment, and it didn't work. So we've already silenced at least one person that was trying to do it. So
your bot's doing his job.
Robot has been working so far.
Definitely. Congratulations. Bot's got to do his job, right?
Oh yeah, I'm glad I'm putting his services to work because I wanted to make sure for everybody it's working.
Yeah, Mud Rabbit. Yeah, active. It's fun. All right, so we've gone from grandparents to time zones to the looking glass. I like the looking glass topic.
Well,
So
what I wanted to jump on is I wanted to tell you, but like related to the looking glass topic, me and Michael McIntosh did a show the other day, and we were talking about the time police and agencies basically going back in time and trying to correct what they would consider the accurate future that's supposed to take place. And we were wondering, like, what if there's rogue agents in this time agency and stuff
what
like
if
that?
there always are?
Oh yeah. So is it possible that you have people all wanting a different possible outcome that aren't even satanic about, without making it a religious argument? I'm just saying on a time aspect, if we're just thinking about it in timelines, could you think about it like that?
Yeah, and okay, so we're all going to different marbles, right? But we can't go into different marbles because we're in this big freaking marble. But we tend to go in the direction of the other marbles, and we drag the other inhabitants of this marble along with us, because the probabilistic outcome is that which the most end up choosing. Okay, because they drag everybody else along with them. That's why we feel powerless and everything else. But yeah, the possibilities. And well, see, that's what they're doing with the quantum computer. I mean, Google's already doing that. Google's already created a virtual reality matrix of every single human being on Earth, because they have the data on us. They're mapping out what we've done and trying to figure out what it is that we'll do. And evidently AI is getting to the point that it can actually do that. But that's just calculations and probabilities. Now, is reality calculations and probabilities? I know that calculus was invented to try and explain gravity, but does that mean that gravity obeys the calculations of Newton? Does that mean that, because Einstein says that light is the speed of light is the limit and you can't go past the speed of light because his calculations said you can't, then we don't, and it's not possible? I love Einstein. I mean, he's mentioned like probably 20 times in my book, but anyway, or at least. But he also thought that the universe was static. He didn't think that it was expanding. Later on, he found out. He didn't know about quantum mechanics, and whenever he did find out, he didn't like what he heard. Some of the best quotes that we have in quantum mechanics come from Sir Einstein. Mr. Einstein, he wasn't a sir, sorry. Not British, definitely not. And one was, the thing, spooky action at a distance, entanglement, to where things are traveling faster than the speed of light. But in reality, yeah, see, that's what we all tangle with. So those or your other guest might actually be able to explain that. And he actually has, in some circumstances, a lot better than I as well. But science was created to try and explain the things that we see.
I feel like when you were talking about Mark, I feel like he's got his own theories on it. He doesn't necessarily say he has the answers. It's just the hypothesis he's come up with for explaining those things.
But the theories come from the knowledge and the study and the evaluation. You're going to
and his theories work out. And his theories work out in mathematics. Like when any of the theories that he presents actually works out as a mathematical equation.
See, but does that make it real? But does that make it real?
That doesn't make it provable. The hardest thing is making it provable and doing it in nature. I think that's the hardest thing. You can tell somebody how to reverse a black hole, but to actually be able to do that is a different level. It's a different measure. You might know the amount of energy it takes to do it, and you might know the materials it takes to do it, but to obtain them and actually
Einstein did do that, and we had the nuclear bomb as a result of that. Thank you, Mr. Oppenheimer. It already has kicked in, Mud Rabbit, and from some information that I have gotten on some of the channels and everything else, the quantum financial system is getting going up and running. So, yeah, things are about to change drastically. But then again, the most sold book on the planet in the last book mentions that you will have a day's wage for a loaf of bread. And so that it would be my definition of hyperinflation. So
I feel like if people don't expect their taxes to go up in the next few years, trying to pay for all the things that we're giving out for free right now, they're just not thinking of things realistically. At least in the U.S., I don't know about other countries and how they're dealing with it.
But the thing is that they're vampires. They've been sucking off the goodwill and the work of one of the greatest generations that this country ever saw. I mean, my grandparents' generation and my parents' generation did the things that we appreciate and enjoy today. Okay, and now they suffered a lot in order to get to that point. And so there's this whole wheel of, strength creates weak people, and weak people, bad situations make strong people make good situations make, it's this virtuous cycle, and we get stuck in it. And why do we have to? Why do we have to, just ride the waves? We can actually channel them. We can actually use them. We can actually, I don't know. There's also a passage that says that my people perish because of lack of knowledge. When people don't know and they're just blissfully unaware, they just live their lives looking at that tree trunk, and everything else passes them by. And then later on they figure out, well, I don't know. But then again, who am I to say anything? I'm still trying to figure it out myself. They're just different theories, and they're my own. But
we're all trying to figure it out. Regardless, we're all trying to figure it out. I don't think anybody has the right answer.
Yeah, but see, the end question of all that is what my uncle always said, what my dad says, my wife says. Okay, great. And how do you put that to work? How do you put that to use? And that was one of the things that inspired for the book. It's how do we make all this knowledge about the quantum universe and quantum reality, the multiverse, and the power of your option. Now, yes, in a huge universe we are insignificant. So are you going to give up? No, you're going to do things. You are valuable. You are important, at least to you, and you should be in those around you, and you can influence those around you. So how do all these things apply to the day-to-day? And it unfortunately ends up going back to the old cliches of just, treat thy brother as thyself. If you're just kind, gentle, honest, and true, things have a tendency of getting better. I mean, I don't know if it's a scientific equation or anything else, but usually has a tendency of freaking working. Now, do you suffer for it? Yeah. People take advantage and things happen. You learn, you grow, and you unfortunately start to harden your heart. And that's something that we have to avoid as well, because we can't get to that position till we don't care anymore. And that's the problem that we have in society today, because people are, yeah, exactly. But then again, who gave us the golden rule? It's the one who bore for all of us. But anyway, yeah, love as you have been loved, period. So how do we put that into practice? Because it's hard to do when everybody's resonance and everybody has these rights, and I have the right to do this, and I have the right to do that, and I have the right to be heard, and I have the right to be petulant, and I have the right to be a jackass, and I have the right to be whoever I want to be.
The best way we can actually put that into action is doing it on the individual level, like we've talked about before.
It's the only way we can. We cannot influence others. That's exactly the opposite of what my master did.
Jimmy Rizzo.
He had.
Rizzo is. Do you know
Jimmy Rizzo? He had all the rights and privileges. He didn't do anything wrong of what they accused him of and everything else. But he took it on the chin, and even though he had the rights, he didn't implore and say, but I, demand that. No, because that's not.
Talk to me for a second, Peña Perspective. So we have a guy jumping in, JimmyRizzo.com. And so, Jimmy, I wanted to. Am I okay? Am okay? Don't worry. Well, that doesn't really tell me anything. Just because you got a setup in your, you got a nice setup. I'll give you that much. It looks nice from here. But
I can't see anything.
I would just want to talk to you a little bit in the chat before I let anybody in. So basically, just to give you a little heads up, basically I set up this chat to try to pick people up because they flooded my channel the other day, and so I set up a defense just to kind of test it. Oh no, you look like you do shows. You got quite the setup. I can tell.
Hey, with a name like Rizzo. Actually, that was my great grandfather's.
Why don't you throw a topic on the board in the chat, and then we can go from there.
Well, I've got one. My great grandfather was Rizzo, and we had a store called Rizzo Leather Collectibles. So I like the name right off the bat. That part of my family was from Sicily. The Jimmy Rizzo Show. So yeah, let's put him on. See what he's got to say. Yeah. All right. So let's put him on. Welcome to the show, Jimmy.
Hello. Isn't it funny, right, that other people don't trust people, but I do know where the horse is coming from, because people like to come on a stream and spoil things for everybody else, i.e., oh, let's show my thing live on the stream. I think it's rather funny. But I get where the horse is coming from, Jacob. I really do. A lot of people spoil it.
Hey, Jimmy, just to give you a heads up, last night I got flooded with over 120 comments and 120 viewers in less than 2 minutes. It was almost like a bot going against my channel in the chat, and I had to set all of this up just so this is my first day coming back after the first big cyber attack I've ever had on my channel before, and that's the only reason I've been so cautious today. So I appreciate you coming on and being normal. I still have my hand over your remove button because I'm still nervous.
Yeah, it's okay.
I just have this much little confidence in society at the moment after last night.
Hold on, Jake. You can't get into a CV panic as well. Dude, look at the guy's setup. He said, my only curiosity is your accent. Where are you from?
I told him before I let him on. He's got a beautiful setup. Jimmy Rizzo, you got a beautiful setup for your show.
No freaking bot's going to do that. I mean, come on. And all opinions are welcome, as we saw with what was it, cabin fever? What was that?
So what do you do on your show, Jimmy?
I'm in the UK, but you'll find, Jacob, right? The person who did that is more likely somebody you know very well. It normally is the case that you know the person who's doing it.
It's very possible.
Oh, you will. Don't worry.
So what do you do on your channel, Jimmy?
Me, I just came here. I wonder what Peña was saying. What is the golden rule? Is a golden rule not somebody enslaving us in the governments and making governments, the power and register slaves to governments? Is that what a golden rule is?
Destroying everything. I agree with you. The government is out of freaking control all over the planet.
Wait. Let's give a better perspective. Jimmy's just tuning in. Peña, where are you from? I'll state where I'm from. He already stated he was from the UK, so it gives a better perspective of where we're talking from these points.
Well, right now, UK is almost like the gulag, man. I mean, they have been some of the most stringent lockdowns and requirements and everything else. I feel sorry for the Brits, because holy fucking cow, what they got to go through is just insane. Where I'm from and where I am are two different things, and where I've been through, that's not as easy a question. But what you wanted me to tell him is that currently I am in Brazil. So but I speak English because, well, whatever. Go Trump.
He's like got a Brazilian accent. He's got an American
I'm not
accent.
Brazilian. I'm not Brazilian. My wife is, my 2 kids are, but I'm not.
He's a Texan at heart.
Yeah.
And
I'm from everywhere.
I'm from the U.S. I wish I got to travel as much as Peña did, but I don't have that. I don't have that ability.
I've been watching what's been going on YouTube with the people, the working people. Have you not seen them demonstrating outside Parliament Square, outside the BBC? It's been going on since day one of this pandemic. The people have been demonstrating. And the word today, the people demonstrate and try to force their way into the BBC. And that was live today on YouTube on Resistance GB channel.
So how does that work in the UK? What's the public's ability to protest against what they are against or for?
Well, the public's ability 2 weeks ago was 0, whereas the Metropolitan Police could give people COVID fines for not wearing a mask and being out in public. But today, it
was mandated?
Yeah. There's no COVID rules today.
It's some of the worst lockdowns in the world.
Yeah. Do what they want. So the Metropolitan Police are, to put it bluntly, they're fucked.
I just saw a post today. There's 600 colleges in the U.S. that are requiring vaccination proof in order to attend. I don't have on YouTube. I'm not allowed to have a feeling for it or against it. I'll get taken down in that sense, just to give you an idea.
There's something about this last book that is in my favorite book that you know about. It talks about something like a mark or something, and the adversary's name is Lucifer. So it's really bizarre that there is this dye that they use in rodents and everything else to mark the experiments called luciferase. And that apparently is included in some things. If you look it up, there's a lot of information about it. But it's just bizarre, but we can't talk about it. Why? Because that's what they want. They want everybody marked, chipped, and under their control. But that's not what humanity fought and died for so many years. It goes counter to what society is about. Society is about, what I grew up with my family in Mexico. We call family reunion 125 people in the park. I scream out, "Hey, uncle," and half the people turn around, "Hey, aunt," and the other half turn around. It's just everybody getting around and then just eating, talking, having a good time. That's what society is about. Helping each other and helping each other deal with the difficulties that are in life. Because like I said, we can't deal with this by ourselves. That's why we require nuclear families and extended families and friendships and structures and everything else. But eventually that wasn't enough. We had to build cities and we had to get bigger. Why? Because the evil is out there wanting to destroy everyone at all the times and at any moment. And therein lies the problem. When we don't want to recognize the evil and don't want to believe that people are willing to do X or Y, then we leave ourselves open and vulnerable. And we can't do that.
Tell me that, all right? Tell me. In a world, we all would like a perfect world. But unfortunately, you know as well as I do, that will never happen. So tell me a world without government. What would a world be like? We've never known one. Ever since the Egyptian times, we've always been slave to the people in power. Ever since biblical times, even. So
however,
what a world without power would mean to you.
I'm not talking about anarchy. Absolutely not. That doesn't work because that's might makes right. And that's pretty close to what we have right now. Because the oligarchs and the ones in power are the ones that are calling the shots. And that's, the most animalistic behavior that can actually be. There's no altruism in them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be at the place where they are. Why? Because they would have tried to save a couple of million of people that they are completely capable of doing. Okay, any one of them can make poverty go away. They make more money than many governments, man, and they have more power than that. And so we are in an animalistic dog eat dog reality. And the thing is that we need to get back and out of that, which means that we need to call our rights. But we've given all our rights away for the creature comforts of the safety and everything else, society. And the point that I wanted to make is whenever we have a change in civilizations and societies and economic trends, I'm talking about the Kundiev cycle specifically, it usually happens in the margins where the state isn't able to impose its will, and they find another way to barter or exchange or find some way to, monetize their hourly efforts, their know-how and their abilities. Your work will get you some food and maybe a room somewhere. And so you figure out what that is to everybody so that they can work equitably. Why? Because there are certain things that everybody needs. We can't have this problem like in San Francisco where we got homeless all over the place. I'm not from there. I don't go there. I haven't gone there. But still, I see that and it breaks my heart because those are people. They have lives. Something happened to them. How can we help? But at the same time, we can't have a welfare state to where everybody's sitting on their ass not doing a damn thing and just getting fat off McDonald's and everything. That's not what we want. We want people to feel good about themselves, feel safe. They have a roof, or they have some place they can, not die of heat or cold or being stabbed in the middle of the night or whatever. You have some place where a coffin where you can be safe. Let's say you have that. You have food.
Now, right? Should I tell you a little something, right?
Yeah.
The governments and the corporate people in the fossil fuel industries only want to make money from fuel. Somebody a long time ago by the name of Tesla invented free energy for the world. Unfortunately,
and that's coming, brother.
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, they shut Tesla down and never patented any of his ideas, and yet he was one of the greatest scientists on this planet.
He died broke, penniless.
Yes.
He never even had a family.
And there was
the
another
only
guy
one
in the 1980s invented.
The only one that we know that had access to his files was
Grandfather
professor
Trump.
from MIT that studied the files. That's
well,
about
grandfather Trump is the one that actually ended up with them.
No, Trump's uncle.
Uncle Trump, sorry.
And another guy in the 1980s invented energy from nothingness. You can make
it's not nothingness. You're actually tapping into the ether. The energy is there, and that's the thing.
He got his car shot up from the CIA. I mean, the world will never be a better place so long as people are in power.
How does he know he got his car shut off by the CIA?
Because it's obvious, isn't it? I mean, the guy invented energy from nothing. Now, the governments don't like things like that. They want fossil fuels. They want to make money and give money to corporate companies who earn us, by the way. Our data, we give data away now just by being on Facebook. You should be able to sell your own data, and your data should be monetized. These governments should not have your data for free and making money from it.
Jimmy, let me ask you. You and Mr. Peña are both a little bit older than myself. Not to be mean, but do you guys remember?
I feel insulted. I'm gonna have to cancel you, Jacob.
And I wonder if I'm older than you, or are you older than me? I'm 58.
You're 50.
Who's 50? 50. I wish I was, but I'm 58, unfortunately.
How old are you?
58.
58. Okay. Yeah. I'm 49, so I'm getting there. That 50 thing is hitting me. So,
and by the way, the government in the United Kingdom is the worst prime ministerial government I've ever seen here in my life. since being born. In 1963, our government at the moment is the worst I've ever seen. It's diabolical.
Yep, it is.
But what I was going to ask you when we were talking about fuel systems, do either of you two remember the guy that had invented the car that ran on water?
Yeah.
Well, the engine. He invented an engine first of all, and he showed it on YouTube, the videos that he had, and all of a sudden he just disappeared, and nobody saw any more of it.
He was Epstein.
Yeah, exactly.
He was Epstein. Epstein. Yeah, we'll leave that to the YouTube.
We'll leave that algorithms.
Penna, do you think that what's happening the moment in the world, and it's coming to an end soon? It won't come to an end, but do you not think that's woke a lot of people up to actually what governments are doing? So I'm glad it's
right now. Everybody is waking up, and that's what we were waiting for.
Yes.
Because nothing can happen without the will of the people. But the people have to wake up. It was so comfortable and it was so okay, but we have to wake up, and people are waking up, and they are making their voices heard. They are letting them know, no, there's only, for example, in the United States, there's 585 people decided things for all the 330 million inhabitants of the United States. So what is 330 million versus 585? I'm sorry. No, not fucking much. After all, we're their fucking boss. The only reason they're there is because we freaking chose them.
When it's like the United Kingdom, we only have two parties to choose from at the minute. That means two guys, Labour Party and the Tories. I mean,
Brexit's running around in there too.
No, I love the idea of Brexit. You got to get out of the clause of the EU.
Hey, listen,
that was horrible.
I've never classed myself as European. England, Wales, and Scotland is an island unto itself.
I would say just by accent, you sound a lot more Scottish than you do English.
Yeah. Well, I'm 156 miles south of Scotland.
Okay.
I'm pretty good.
So it's pretty damn close.
Yeah. I mean, England says, right? Great Britain says that Ireland belongs to them. It doesn't. Ireland is a country and an island unto its own. So why should it belong to England? It doesn't. It belongs to them. You know? It's like fucking England is not
people forget. We just had a guest on the other day. People forget that Canada is English reign as well.
No. Canada belonged to the native Inuits of India, of Canada, before the British stormed in and stole some of their land. And that's why they called it Canada. Canada belongs to the Inuits. It doesn't belong to the white people or anything like that. It's the same as the United States. Belongs to the native Indians. Them were there first before any white guy went to the United States. Unfortunately, some said...
I agree with you. I agree.
Whoever discovered America, Captain Columbus, he did not. America was discovered long before him.
At least Leif Erikson.
I consider the Chinese because they both discovered before Columbus.
At least Leif Erikson. You got to at least trust Leif Erikson.
Yeah. But then you also got Hans the Red, and also you've got Chinese boats coming over. And why do you think South America has so many Asian characteristics? If you see the Peruvian people and everything else, because they got over there on boats a long time beforehand, and they settled. Why? Because that's what humanity does.
They're American. I mean, come on, man. You know. America.
I wanted to get back to. I was raised in Oklahoma, which was one of the last states to be adapted. Diego Garcia, Iceworm Base. But also Tierra del Fuego is where Fauci's supposed to be going. Brooks is supposed to be there already. But anyway, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. But I can't. They actually had the Punisher around Fauci and Gates, so I'm hoping they get taken in pretty soon.
Anyway, Peña and Jacob, right? It's It's 3:34 over here now.
Yeah.
I'll be doing my live show on Friday, so like a few days' time. Both of you are welcome anytime on my show. It's called networking,
I'd love to join in.
Put the link in the chat and let us know and keep in touch. Subscribe to the channel. We'll go over and like Marfugal says, do a love mob. We'll all go over there. We don't have many people to actually do a love mob.
Well, the other thing that my channel is, Jimmy, is I do personal interviews. So you can come on here and it'll just be a one-on-one with me and you. We can bring Michael Peña if you want. And basically we just take questions from the chat and we just talk about what you've been up to, what you do on your channel, and basically what we're doing now. Any questions you want to dive into?
And you are in a very dangerous place.
It's called networking. It's not called leeching. It's called meeting new people. And like I'm on your show, you want to come on my show, and I'll introduce lots of people to your show as well. So that's a good thing.
It's called synchronicity, my friend. When we're all on the same page, we all flow together.
Anyways, I'm gonna go to bed now. So it's been nice meeting you too. And anyway,
definitely,
yeah, it's nice meeting you as well, Jimmy. You have a great night.
Appreciate it.
Take care. By the way, search John McCarthy on YouTube one day. He's a really good man.
John McCarthy.
Yeah.
Give me a little more reference. Oh, he did something bad.
He just left you hanging. But see, that is what an artist does. An artist leaves you wanting more. Many have already said, if you keep going, eventually they'll go, oh, fuck it, I'm tired, get off the stage. No, if you leave them wanting more, they'll come back for more and that sort of thing. But, that's an old shtick as well. I don't know how much more we can get them after having 6-hour videos and 5.5-hour videos. We kind of go off the rails sometimes. Cat hairs on your keep. Okay. I feel for you. Because whenever they write gobbledygook, that's a problem. They always want attention. Wherever you're looking at, that's where they want to be because they want you to focus on them. And that's cool.
Oh, wow.
What's up?
Did he say John McCarthy or John and McCarthy?
McCarthy.
Because John and McCarthy is a biblical reference. And I was wondering if that's why he dropped it as well. I'm kind of curious.
I didn't know that one.
I gotta look into this now. Because all I'm getting is the life of Jesus and stuff like that.
Well, okay. Now that would be interesting. Drop me that information. Send it to me later on some way that send it to me through the email or through the Facebook chat or whatever, so I can get it. Because this chat will disappear as soon as the stream ends, and I won't be able to see whatever it is that you link on there. And you also don't want to link everything to the public on the chat, but that's
we got a private chat in here. We can figure it out.
Okay,
don't worry about that.
That'd be good. That'll work. That was nice. Yeah, we can't expect that everybody's because we haven't just because we got trolled.
But I still have to be. I have to be attentive, like I'm being.
I understand.
I hate to be a dick, but once it happens, I have to be more alert.
Yeah, I understand.
And I'm still figuring out right now if he dropped a name before he left that was kind of controversial. But the only thing I'm really finding is computer scientists and talking about artificial intelligence and a couple of
look into the artificial intelligence rabbit hole.
Is an American former professional mixed martial artist, referee, and current broadcaster in Bellator MMA. It's a different John McCarthy. There's more than one John McCarthy, so I would have to be a little more on point.
Well, we're just gonna have to hop onto his show and ask him those questions, then, aren't we?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Networking. Before you had to have Tiffany. It's so nice to see you in here.
We appreciate
sticking
it.
Around. Yeah, that was a nice. I had trouble understanding him in the beginning, but later on it just sort of flowed. I had to get that switch going to get my Henry V on, so I
Oh
could
no, I wasn't
understand
gonna
him.
lie. I mean, that's why I thought he sounded Scottish. I thought we had Braveheart over here. All due respect, but he has a very thick accent, and
Yeah,
it just didn't sound like a European accent. I just
it
thought it
wasn't
sounded more Scottish.
European. It was. He's 165 miles away from the Scottish border, so yeah, it's pretty damn well Scottish.
Yeah,
Um,
no
no,
offense
the end's not
intended.
working. Oh, that's why the end wasn't working because the cat hair was in the keyboard. Okay,
Oh,
so
that
all the
makes
puzzle
sense now.
pieces start to
Circling
fit
back.
together. They're individual pieces, but when you put them all together, it all makes sense. It's all those puzzle pieces that we want about reality. We're all trying to figure it out, but in the end, what do we do? And we saw that today. Whenever there's synchronicity, that is where the growth happens. That's when everybody's running in different directions. You go around in circles. Nothing gets done. When people are focused and they all have the same focus, they feed off of each other. The synchronicity ends up being absolutely incredible, and things grow and they improve because people resonate and it's catching that wave. Okay, but you're creating your own wave whenever you have more and more people resonating with you. Um, why? Because if you have a vision that's something that can be beneficial for everyone, it doesn't require from everyone, just requires from yourself, and others that have that same feeling. Um, and things can grow and that things can get a lot better with United Kingdom. Yeah.
I don't know. It sounded
The
Scottish
United
to
Kingdom
me.
went to its lowest
Might be wrong. It
number of
sounds
members.
Scottish to me though.
No, but the United Kingdom got down to its lowest number of members in the last like 850 years or 500 years or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Why? Because people are leaving in droves. Why? Because they're abusive. I mean, India, what they tried to do to China, but now China's just being a butt, and they're trying to get back, and we can't let them do that either. Um, yeah, they're all playing games, and we're the fodder in the middle. And so, what our friend from England was, or from Wales, or from Mr. Rizzo, let's
Yeah.
just call him Mr. Rizzo. Um,
Jimmy.
Jimmy, all right, Jimmy. He didn't sound like a Jimmy. I don't know, but he didn't sound like Rizzo either.
JimmyRizzo.com.
JimmyRizzo.com.
He sounds like a decent guy. I would push everybody to go to his channel.
I love this
I
perspective.
didn't hear anything in it. I didn't hear anything where he was too off the rails. He was very appropriate for a guest that
absolutely
we just
not. And a lot of the stuff that he's getting into, I've gotten into, and I understand him completely because it makes it. And the question that he had is, what do we do without government? No,
more than anything though, is I really appreciate the perspective from another country and seeing what their government's going through, as well as my government.
Hell, right now, man, it's completely locked down. Like you said, you go out to walk your dog and you'll get a ticket. You go to sit on the beach, you'll get a ticket. I mean, what the fuck is that? You know, we complain about Nazi Germany and all that.
I didn't hear him say that, and we don't have that in the U.S. Now where I'm at. I hope it doesn't get to that point, but I'm just not going to make the claim that it's at that point.
I wouldn't pass.
I don't know if it's like that. I don't know if it's like that in
Beetlejuice to do that.
Is it like that in South America right now? You can't go out and walk your dog.
In some places, not here. Why? Because
I'm just saying I don't want to make that claim. You know.
Of what?
If you just said that people can't go out and walk their dog, I don't know if I didn't hear him.
No, the thing is that yes,
I didn't hear him say that about UK. I can't say that about the area that I'm in.
Paul Joseph Watson, Luke Lewandowski, Red Pill News, Red Pill 78, and we know also has it in Next 22. Not as much. They haven't been showing it as much, but they have been showing where. Different countries have been in lockdown in different periods and in different quantities. Australia is absolutely horrendous what they're doing to the people, but we're all standing up. Sorry, put that back up. I didn't finish reading that.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, she got a new one
already. Wearing a mask.
She had a new one already.
Yeah, exactly. They're taking their kids away. I mean, since when does government have that right? You can't. The government is there to serve us.
The government has been overstepping those boundaries in the U.S. as well. If you don't recognize a child that identifies as something as a minor and actually support their ability to have a sex change by definition, whether it's taking more hormones or suppressing some of the hormones that they have in their own body, it can actually be considered a form of child abuse by parents in some areas in the U.S.
With those hormones is the child abuse. That's the whole thing. They reverse everything.
But
see, everything
that's my thing.
They reverse it so that you don't.
Regardless,
you can't argue it because of the terminology. But
as
that's
a
what
liberal,
communists do.
And what I want from my government, I just don't want that much overreach. I don't want the government to worry about what I put. I don't want the government to worry about what I put into my own body. I don't want the government to protect me from myself, and I want the government to worry about
seatbelt mandates. I know seatbelts are good for you, but at the same time, who the fuck is the government to tell me what I'm going to do? If I want to smack my face through my windshield, it's my freaking problem.
But at the same time, I always have the boundary where it comes to infringing on others' rights.
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm going to make it harder on others, that's where I 100% think you should get penalized.
Should get what?
You should get penalized if you're infringing on other people's rights.
Absolutely.
That's
my right to swing my fist ends where your nose begins.
But if you're just harming yourself, I don't think the government should try to tack on any kind of thing on top of that. But that's just my own personal view.
Well, 80% of the cost of cigarettes and 85% of the cost of alcohol is taxes to the government. So right there, what you just said.
Those sin tax are something that you agree to depending on the town that you move into. I do like the ability of states and towns to have their own laws and governing.
That's the freedom. That's not a totalitarian, authoritarian, centralized state. That's what we have in the U.S.
Small form government is what people need to actually focus on. If you're focusing on just the presidency and not your local government, you're doing it wrong. You need to focus on all of the politics around you. And especially
he was complaining about politicians, and this is something that the 17th letter mentioned, or people talking about the 17th letter mentioned recently. The most important thing, instead of complaining about the politicians, is compete against them. You're a good person, get the fuck in there, save your country, run the next time. Anything for your student, for the school board, for the city councilman, or run for mayor if your town's small enough and you got enough people that know you. But get in there, get involved, because when you're in there, I mean, we're seeing. God, I got to pull up my. I forgot what her damn name was. I'm so bad with names right now; it's just pissing me off. The senator from Georgia. God, I love her. Marjorie Greene. That's her.
Okay.
That woman, I could kiss her. I mean, seriously, that's a woman after my own heart. She's absolutely fantastic. The way she just stands up, she sees it, and she's calling a spade. And the thing, that's another good channel on Telegram. Anyway, they think they can get away with this bullshit because nobody's looking at it. And nobody ever was looking at it before. But we're all fucking looking at it now. And nobody agrees with this crap, but they do it because nobody's fucking looking. Because they're in the shadows. They ain't in the fucking shadows no more. But the only way for us to eliminate the shadows is by getting in there. See, exactly. And that's what saves us. It's state rights and states rule, which is why Florida is so freaking awesome right now. Although for me, it's too damn hot and muggy. I prefer Texas, but at this particular point, Brazil's looking pretty damn good. Exactly. I loved his line whenever he said it. Look, you want to talk to me about something, some kind of infection rates and everything else. How about sealing up the border? Tens of thousands of people crossing over every day without tests, without, any of the things that they're mandating for their own citizenry. It's fucking bullshit. And they're shipping them out all across the country. And McAllen is now, which is a border city I've been to many times. But now they're simply absolutely overrun with detention centers and quarantine centers and everything else. because it's just too much for the city to handle. And the government that is one of the things that the government has the obligation to do, is to defend its citizenry. Part of defending the citizenry is from invasion. Yeah, exactly. And until he does his job, don't tell me I don't want to hear bleep out of you about COVID. I mean, that was freaking awesome. It's like they're hypocrites because they're liars. They're children of the father of lies. The only thing they can do is lie. So whenever you talk to a liar, the only thing you can assume is that the opposite is true every single fucking time, and you will be right, because all they do is lie.
I feel like it's possible that they just have a government or financial benefit that's not necessarily tied to Satan in the dark side.
No. It's all financial. Hey, it's all financial benefit, buddy. For the love of money is the root of all evil.
But I don't feel like everybody that worships Satan is also financially wealthy.
Well, see, the love of money is the root of all evil. People will eat their mother for a bag of gold. You know, it's what you're willing to do for that cash which compromises your soul, and therein lies the problem. Okay, it's not, you know, I'm going to do whatever I got to do because God gets my bling. It's not about the bling. It's about the journey, not the destination. Okay. Putting a hotel. Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. That's what they used to do. So good thing they're doing it again. But they don't tell anybody about it and everything else. But anyway.
Hard to prove.
No, but at least they're doing something.
You can prove it. They won't be doing it that way.
Look, how did we get Ilhan Omar in there? It's because of Barry. Barry Sarto.
No, I mean, it comes down to people being able to convince other people to vote for them. Regardless, these people are only getting in here on votes. So regardless, unless they're planting people in whole cities and towns and everything else.
How about this? When people hear the media and they think that something happened, and they see the numbers and they think that something happened, and nobody questions anything. And that's why I am freaking loving Wisconsin came out now. Okay, hundreds of thousands. Then we got Arizona, which is about to just go off the rails. I mean, you've got thousands of people that were actually volunteers that worked in that convention center, and they want to tell their story, but they can't. They got an NDA until all the information comes out, and they're waiting for deeper information because we got Mike coming on, I think, day after tomorrow or sometime this week, that he's got his symposium for the hackathon and that sort of stuff to show us exactly who was involved. And it's not just, dead people voted. People that were in other states and people that voted for their mothers and they cajoled and bought vote. Yeah, that's fine. That's been happening for 100 years. Okay, FDR was voted in 5 times. How do you think that fucking happened? Now, I liked a lot of his policies and everything else. I personally thought he was a great president. Many blame him for socialism in the United States, but still. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that was 2019, actually, is when the kid actually complained about that. Yeah, it's a storm, Mud Rabbit. Panic in D.C., baby. Panic in D.C. And we got the Punisher around Fauci and Gates, so we know that they're the next mark. That's when the river is going to break. That's when the dam's going to break, and that's when QFS maybe will be something that will keep us out of the inflationary spiral that is bound to happen. Yeah.
That's all you can do.
I'm getting my popcorn. I prefer the popcorn. Love me some popcorn. Yeah. Why? Because we just got to sit back and watch a show.
I didn't get to tell you about my awesome night on Saturday night.
Well, then go ahead and rock us. I've been talking. I mean, tell me your metrics. I've been doing. It just reminded
me of popcorn. So I went to the world famous trailer races in Rockford, Illinois, and what they do is they pulled, at least this night, they pulled 22 trucks out there that had trailers attached to them, whether it was a boat, whether it was a full trailer that was 32 feet plus.
Oh my God!
They drove
They're
them
risking
around.
Their boat out there.
They drove them around in a figure 8, and they go till the last man standing. So I gotta, and they gave me permission to share this. So I'm
this is awesome. I got to see this.
And basically, it's last truck and trailer standing. If your trailer gets knocked off, you're no longer in the race. And it's one of these things that I used to actually go to when I was a kid, but my parents kind of stopped going to it when I got a little bit older. So let me see if I can pull one up. This is from 2 years ago. Let me load it up a little bit, and then I'll put it on live. I can only play, so many seconds of it at a time, but they told everybody to like it and share it. So if anybody gets a chance, go on and like Rockford Speedway. The site is Rockford Speedway on YouTube. And yeah, they got some. It's if you like NASCAR, it's not for you. If you like hillbilly racing, which is what I call crashing and bang 'em up derbies and
the derbies. Yeah, I love me some derbies.
Yeah, exactly. I'm more into that. I'm not into the black flags. If you touch somebody's tail, let's see.
Oh, but I love the movie Cars, man. Don't get me wrong. Love that movie. Popcorn. We got Dan Scavino giving us some good tips. It's getting gnarly out there. Hopefully the white hats get there before the black hats rip the rug out from under all of us. Because they're sure as hell trying. And this thing that includes luciferase and everything else too in graphene in order to track, trace, and measure. Alrighty, let's see the video. I love that backdrop, dude. That's awesome.
So this is just a few of them. These are all the trucks hooked up. They got all their trailers. It's a figure 8 track that goes off this way, and you got to wind back. They are never on the outside track very long. And so I'm going to jump forward a little bit and just to show you how wild it gets as it goes. I mean, it's absolute carnage. You got to go around everybody. There's collisions everywhere. YouTube's going to give me all the ads at the same time. So let me stop that for a second because I don't know if I have rights to their ads. But I'll play it again and show you just kind of how it ends up with like one car left, and it's just literally mayhem on the track, and you can't even move. You're guaranteed to blow all your tires before the end of it. Most of the cars are riding on there. Cars I've seen.
I thought they actually had things, but I saw that they're just mocked up because the trailers they had were basically heavy trailers that were meant for the race and everything else to be able to deal with it. They're old cars that they're willing to throw. Yeah. It's a demolition derby. I got you.
Oh yeah. Basically it turns into that, but then it just turns into an obstacle course plus demolition derby because everybody leaves their debris behind. And by the end of it, it just gets into this absolute like obstacle course where you're just trying to keep all the wheels on your vehicle.
Well, that's Mad Max reality. That's kind of what we're about to get into. Because a world without government is that.
I brought some kids with me that were both under 13, my daughter and my nephew, and they just had such a blast. It was cool that they didn't worry about their phones and they didn't worry about anything else. There was so much going on in front of them, and no drivers got hurt. They all jump out, and
of course.
The announcer says, "Hey, he's fine," and he waves to everybody to make sure everybody knows they're fine. Like nobody wants anybody to get hurt, but it just
that's
draws
why
your
the cars
attention.
are getting hurt, not people. It's not like boxing, to where you cause them permanent brain damage. 5 seals. I don't know what that was.
Are you talking about infiltrating the Middle East? I think Dan said 5 seals.
Well, see, we got the seals and the trumpets, and that's in the end days. So I can look up the seals. But yeah, those are tribulations as well. So that's not a
careful now.
Huh?
Trumpets are a verse in the Bible.
Oh yeah, the trumpets.
Okay. No, I just didn't want
the bowls.
You like to use vague names about other parties, so I wanted to make sure you were referencing a verse in the Bible rather than a family or something like that.
What you mean 2016 when it was Trump and Pence?
I'm just saying the trumpets in general. I want to make sure you're clear about what you're
Trump
talking
and
about.
Pence really quick. Thank you very much. So I got to look up seals. Hold on. I'm on the Kiwi Quiet Time.
Gavinino posted a video of seals jumping in waves. Said it was 5 seals.
Oh, 5 by 5. Understood. Message received. Those seals. Okay, I was thinking about seals on the scroll of. Okay, that's.
Can we talk about it? What's the significance of that?
Oh, the seals. Well,
be
the
honest
seals
with me.
usually...
Can we talk about? Oh, no. Be honest with me. Can we talk about this?
No, I'm not saying anything that's not common knowledge. I don't have any inside information. It's just my perspective, after all.
Yeah.
But the seals. Now it might mark me, but then again, I'm not in the U.S., so I'm not a threat to Nancy Pelosi. Even though you don't like me to mention their names, because it can be. I mean, I know that Beetlejuice can be a serious problem for you, and she's been getting worse and worse over time.
I'm just saying, I'm fine with you referencing Nancy Pelosi, but then when you have to go to her and call her Beetlejuice afterwards,
no. Nancy Pelosi is not Beetlejuice.
You can just reference a person, and that's a lot easier than referring to them in a negatory term.
No. Hold on.
I got to worry about cutting it out.
Nancy Pelosi is not Beetlejuice. They're two different ones. Oh. Beetlejuice is your mayor, but I don't remember her fucking name. The mayor, Lori Lightfoot. Thank you. That's why I was.
So you're referring to Lori Lightfoot as Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
This is exactly what I mean. These are the things that aren't allowed on YouTube when you refer to specific individuals with negative names.
Like deplorables?
That's the only. We're not allowed. There's no reason to do that, just because it would just draw bad attention.
No, the thing is that I didn't want to mention a name so that nobody would draw.
It's easier just to say Lori Lightfoot. Like, especially if you're talking about those specific politics. I'm happy to talk to you about Chicago politics with Lori Lightfoot and what's going on with Pritzker, because I know a lot about it. You should know I do.
And thank you. And do you enjoy her mayoral?
No, it's not for me. I'll 100% say it's not for me. But whoever voted her in, it's apparently for them. And I know, because I don't live in Chicago, that Chicago is the determiner in our state's vote. It doesn't really matter what the rest of us do. That's why I've told you before, I vote in certain ways that aren't necessarily the Democratic or Republican Party in certain senses, because I know what my vote's going to amount to in my state. At no point will my vote actually count in my state when they're counting electoral votes. The popular vote doesn't really matter.
That is where the problem lies. You have to have a voice.
But that's the weirdest thing, though, is I understand in the state that I live in that the popular vote doesn't matter in my state. I understand that because I understand my voice isn't recognized like that. So when people get mad about a popular vote,
but is that right?
But no. Right? But here's my thing, though. If people get mad about a popular vote, I understand them getting mad, but I understand the realization of it. I understand how the system works. A popular vote. I understand how the system is.
Nowadays, we're not sure if that popular vote is really the popular vote. And therein lies the problem.
I mean, we could talk about Trump's first presidency when we're talking about that. If you want to talk about his second presidency, that's a different case. But if you just want to talk about President Trump's first presidency,
what do you mean his second presidency?
His second running. Sorry. He didn't have a second presidency yet. his second running for presidency. That's what I was talking about. But when we're talking about vote count, when it comes to popular vote, he actually did not have the popular vote in his first election, is what I was saying.
But it's about electoral college. It's not
I
democracy.
agree,
Democracy gets you problems.
But even being the majority party, it's good to knowing that I'm not in a state that was the majority party, I can still recognize the fact that my vote did not count in my own state. I have other people in my state that have other residences elsewhere that went and casted their vote elsewhere rather than Illinois because they knew if they had a residency there, their vote would mean more in the long run.
But do they have the right to do that?
No. They have the right to vote in any residency they have, but they can't vote in two places. I don't want you voting in two places. That's where I'm drawing the line. Yeah. You can vote from one residency and you get to cast one vote. If you have a property there and it fits state law there, I'm 100%.
Who's gonna track somebody who's?
But I'm not going to yell at. Are you going to be mad at somebody that has a residency in more than one state?
No,
because they're doing well. No, you can't be mad at them. So, but I only want them casting one vote.
Choose one. Exactly. Yeah. Choose one.
But I have no problem with you being strategical about it. If your vote doesn't count in certain states and you want to cast your vote from a certain state where it'll actually be represented,
who's going to track a vote in Illinois and another vote in Kentucky? Are they going to track the same?
I'm just saying a Republican vote won't matter in Illinois. A Republican vote won't matter in Illinois and it won't matter in California. I 100% know that.
But what I'm saying is, what if they actually do? Who's to stop them from voting in both places?
I think that it should be stopped from voting in both places, regardless of if it happens or not. I don't want negative effects. I don't want negative effects on either side, though. I can't pick sides. I don't want negative outcome. I want the best outcome for our election on both sides, regardless of my view of parties.
Some people just want to win, and therein lies the problem. Trumpets and SEALs, but those are different SEALs than what you were talking about. The SEALs she was talking about are special forces, and those are under the command of Space Force. So that's going to be fun. Things are happening this week. Yeah. So yeah, if you are the one dissenting voice, well, fine. You're not represented in your county. Fine. Does that mean that you deserve representation? You deserve basic human dignity. But see, yeah, I love the Electoral College because it's not, we don't want to, the Electoral College allows the fact that Wyoming has a voice, that Wisconsin has a voice, that Kansas has a voice.
The flyover states. That's how they're determined to. Like there's Chicago, and then there's the flyover states. You got California,
New York, Chicago, and LA, and those three are extremely left, and everybody else is not. But they define what everybody else has to do, and that in and of itself is why the Electoral College, which is why Miss Clinton wanted to. God, I so want to call her names, dude. I'm going to stop having fun.
There's no reason to. There's no reason to. Just reference her as.
Of course, there is reason to. She's not dignified. I mean, just like No Name. I mean, I can't mention his name.
You have beliefs that I don't agree with, but I think it would be rude to call you names every time we get on here. Probably religious names. I could think of a few offhand. We could try them out and see if you appreciate them.
Go for it. I'm always good for a good jab.
I wouldn't do that, man. I'm not like that.
Why not? I mean, it's a good jab.
I don't have that kind of personality where I could do that. Where I could just sit there and call somebody names because of one thing I don't like about them, or one thing I heard about them.
It's not one thing, but
I agree with you. There's certain individuals. There's a lot you wouldn't like about them, but at the same time, does it do you any more justice to get our video taken off and we can't even, what I mean?
No, I don't want to do that. However, that's why I don't want to mention the names. The names themselves are problematic. You can't talk about them. That's why I use the nicknames. Because you can't actually.
That's why I say you can express your feelings about an individual as it's your own opinion, as long as you're not being derogatory to that individual. It's your own opinion. You can have your own opinion about things. It's not a fact unless you back it up with some kind of information.
And there's nothing positive I can think about both those ladies. Holy cow. But
I can think of something positive about Hillary Clinton.
Oh, God, let's not go there. Good night, Jacob. I got work to do. Thank you very much. It's been nice.
I was going to tell Andrew Basiago's story about how he was carrying buckets of water.
Probably to drown somebody.
Dude, did you hear about Andrew canceled the show?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why?
So, but all right. So I'm gonna do good news with bad news, and we'll decide which one we want to dive into. Good news after the bad news is Andrew might be Aaron might be doing a show soon with Corey Good.
Nice. That'll be good. I'll tune in for that one.
I'm excited about that.
Definitely.
I will watch
every. So what happened with Andy?
So apparently,
he got his glasses and now he's dropping out.
Andy wasn't getting enough questions about himself, and he was too busy referencing, like in my opinion, he was too busy referencing Ryan every single week that he came on our Cloaked Unseen World. He was too busy referencing a question that Ryan asked or a statement that Ryan was trying to make 4 or 5 weeks prior, and then felt like he needed to bring him up every single episode up until that point. I don't know if it was just to fill time. And then my biggest problem with it was he made up this idea in his head that Ryan was a millennial and kept making that the reason that Ryan didn't know what he was talking about. It was clarified it was clarified in several different shows where Andrew actually read it, and it was proven that he was not a millennial. Ryan wasn't a millennial. Andy actually read it, acknowledged that he wasn't a millennial, and then made a statement, upon that. But at the same time, he then later referenced that he was a millennial. It was like, you literally forgot about what you talked about 2 episodes later.
They build straw men and they hope you forget the rest. That's the whole point.
I love Andy's story. I hate when he dives into politics and makes claims about people. It's the same thing that I feel with anything on YouTube. Don't make claims about people in politics, because I just think it leads you down a bad road. There's no reason. If you're trying to talk about your time travel stories, talk about your time travel stories, and that's what people will question.
But he wants to be president. He can't just focus on time travel.
If you're talking about Hillary Clinton,
and you're talking about how he's going to be president, but anyway.
If you're talking about Hillary Clinton and you're talking about Donald Rumsfeld and you're trying to praise these people are not going to talk to you about time travel. I'm sorry. They don't want to hear anything about time travel when you're claiming that Hillary Clinton is the best person that you've ever met, and same with Donald Rumsfeld. You know what I mean? I feel like if you want to talk about time travel, you set it up to talk about time travel. The only thing
is that means that he is knee deep into the sea, the clowns in America. Okay. No, the whole YouTube banning thing, and the reason you can't actually mention people's names, which is why we come up with different nicknames for them, and nicknames aren't always positive. So yeah, sorry. I don't know what that woman's name. I don't remember, and usually I don't want to, but she sure as fuck looks like Beetlejuice, which is why I call her that. So they're just nicknames, derogatory or not, is what you can perceive of them. But there is also something that we're fighting for, which is freedom of speech. I don't want to get your channel taken down. Absolutely not. Which is why I don't
want everybody to have their freedom of speech, but I just want them to address it as
but that's why I don't mention
their reality and their
people
opinion.
Actually. But there are situations.
As long as I think we've made it clear in all of our episodes. These are your opinions, your reality, and what you have learned from your life. It's not. It's not what everybody else thinks. It's not.
No,
it's not
definitely.
I mean, you're not giving me clips and data and backing up any facts. We're just talking. We're just having a human conversation. And if people want to be assholes about it and censor us because we're literally having a human conversation, then that's on them. but we're not saying we're experts in anything, and we're not claiming to be. So with that simply said, I don't feel like we're overstepping any boundaries. But
yeah, but I can't call somebody a rhino.
I don't feel like there's any reason to call people names. I mean, it's just overstepping boundaries for no reason. You can literally say the name and say what you have a problem with those policies without actually addressing the fact that I felt like calling them a name.
Which is why we don't talk about those things on your channel, because hey, I can't be nice to them.
I wish I had as much guts as gosh, now I'm drawing a blank. Orion Rising. Because if anybody hasn't gotten a chance, go check out the live he did today. It was beautiful. I have to say, I don't know how long it's going to be up. If you get a chance to go and check out Leo's video at
while I'm doing my translations, I'll definitely put up Orion Rising. He's finally got his system back up, and he's going to reschedule the webinar.
And he explained,
so we'll have a new date for that soon.
He explained to everybody into that video like what was going on with the bases by his house and why he had an issue in the first place. He wanted to make it clear to everybody.
It's a good thing that the fires are dying down. Which means
I agree with you. Oh, sorry. I wanted to say something to Mud Rabbit's comment. I agree with you. Ryan donated so much to the channel and actually helped with so many things when it comes to actually supporting the channel and supporting Andy and everything. It was stupid that he got thrown under the bus week after week. And that's why at the end of it, I started actually hashtagging I hashtagged Ryan. I hashtagged what's it called?
Seed World.
Yeah, I kept hashtagging his name, and then also individual rights or I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was something that Aaron would address as every time that Andy said his name, I did it. And so he would know that this is how many times Andy's brought him up since he hasn't talked. Like Andy brought him up maybe 27 more times when he was done talking. And it was just stupid. After he had Aaron actually,
because it's where he can focus his anger and his hatred.
He had Aaron actually ban him from the channel.
But that's the problem with the cancel culture and everything that's dominating the planet today. Why? Because we are focused on the hatred, on the cancel, on the finding the fault in others and everything else. Dude, that's exactly what the adversary wants. Okay, we can't be fine. That's the whole point. We have to be just kind, period. I love our chat.
No, I like that. Okay, so basically it was funny because we were talking about what happened with Ryan, and then Terry jumped in and said, you seeing this?
We're bickering. We're like we're two brothers fighting.
Because
it hasn't happened before.
I want that to be what our conversations are. I like when we both get to express our ideas, and I get to hear how you feel about it, because you didn't get to catch those shows. I'm an advocate fan of Andrew, and that's why it's strange that I'm so critical of him. But I believe his actual story. I get mad when he tries to put other things in front of it.
I believe his story, but I think he's a dick. That's it. I mean, that's fine. I believe his story, and I love his story, and I want to find out more about his story. But he himself is an arrogant little whatever mole because he's blind. Okay.
Don't say that. That was rude. Come on.
You'll have to. Yeah, it was. Because
I'm not saying he hasn't been rude to others, but there's no reason we gotta get low, you know.
We don't have to go sink to their level. Yeah, I get that morality, and you're good. But at the same time, David had to hit Goliath right smack between the eyes. Otherwise, Goliath was going to want to take out everybody else.
That was a wake up call. It didn't kill him.
Huh?
I said it was a wake up call. It didn't kill him.
Oh, it was cutting off the head afterwards. It did it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's what they do to cows. I had to translate the manual for a slaughterhouse. And so I had to go through every fucking step and figure out the vocabulary for every word that I didn't know. And so, yeah, I got it in intricate detail. And yeah, you stun them right between the eyes, and as soon as they're like that, then you can actually do the deed. I'm a cynic, kind of, sorta. I see a reality that others don't want to perceive. So, yeah, if I'm a cynic of the lies that they tell me, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I don't know how to fathom this to anybody else. The two most credible people I've ever found in the UFO or any other community are Bob Lazar and Andrew Basiago when it comes to being consistent on your story and being truth about it. And then if Bob Lazar or anybody else that I find truthful started talking about politics, I'd be like, why the hell are you talking about politics?
There's stories about the UFOs got nothing to do with politics.
Even if Basiago is running for president and he's talking about policies that he wants to do in the future, that's a different story. That's the change you want to implement on the world. That to me is not politics. But when you start naming individuals and giving praise for it or against them because of individual experiences, that to me is overreaching. I appreciate
that started
everything
with
that
me
Andrew
because
does.
I attacked somebody that he liked. Why? Because they got to work together. I mean, that's something that seriously, I don't know. There's something there, and it'll be made public later on. I mean, I might just be freaking insane, or you can actually do me a favor. Just 3. I know you probably got 5 to 10, but just give me 3 of those names that you're going to call me, the nicknames.
No, I'm just joking, man.
I want them. I've never had nicknames before, so please lay them on me. I need a good laugh tonight, or to go to bed angry and hissy and everything else. Either way, it all depends on how I take it, but it's out there. So lay it on me. 3 of them. Choose 3.
I would always decide that it's not the best idea to do it live where I'm challenging the Peña Perspective's emotional response.
Go for it.
No, thank you.
I'm asking. 3. I know you got more than that.
Oh, look, we gotta catch up. We gotta catch up the chat. Oh, here we go.
Oh. Sorry, I'm reading your statement. Right.
Oh, same.
He veered off. Yeah, and the politics, the esoterics is okay. I mean, Jake's got a lot of people on his channel that also go down those holes, and that's fine. I don't necessarily agree with them, but at the same time, freedom. Everybody can do what they want to do. That's the whole objective of this reality that he created for us, is that we have the ability to do that, and the beauty that emanates from the creativity that humanity was bestowed with. I mean, it's a beautiful thing.
But you understand people not asking you questions about your time travel experience if you're talking about politics and other things?
Of course, because he's changed. He doesn't want to talk about time travel. He doesn't want to be stuck in that niche.
No, he would love to talk about time travel, but people aren't going to ask you questions about that if that's not what you're talking about. If you're making long-ass claims for over an hour on a 2-hour podcast about, politics for the whole time, what do you think people are going to call about?
Politics.
Because they don't.
And then you're going to be angry because they talk about politics.
Especially when you're talking about bringing in new viewers. Like, I love Andrew's story. I wish he would talk about it more, but he doesn't like to repeat anything. He expects every new viewer that comes in to know his story, and it's hard to know all of Andrew's story. He's got quite a bit, and if you don't have a question that's dead on point about his story, sometimes he doesn't want to talk about it, or he'll just say, "Oh, I talked about this."
He's like a college professor that expects you to have read and bought all 5 of his books.
But I also think it's an intellect level, because I know a lot of people, when they're that smart and they're operating on that high of a level, whether it's memory or anything else, they have a hard ability to have human communication. Their communication skills aren't the same as everyone else. No, I think your communication skills are high. I'm just saying, I think your communication skills are high. You might not express yourself well through communication at all points, and I can't do the same as well. But at the same time, I feel like some people have a social awkwardness where they don't even know what to say to relate the thoughts that they're having. And I think that's something a lot of people deal with, but some people deal with it more.
I dealt with that, and the way I did is I delved into what other people were talking about, and I always wanted to know because I wanted to participate in the conversation. Because things that I wanted to talk about, like the Bermuda Triangle, Atlantis, they didn't want to talk about. So I delve into motors and cars and sports and all the stuff that everybody else was talking about. I delved in deep. Why? Because I'm a fucking nerd. So I ticked in and I knew. And then all of a sudden I started talking about, the horsepower and the 5-liter engines and 4.5 and 8.5 and everything. But that was a long time ago. And then you go learning to try and integrate. But at the end, you want somebody that resonates with you. So you want to talk about things that really interest you and find people that resonate with your interests. Is it an echo chamber? Yeah, kind of. But the thing is that an echo chamber allows you to grow in the direction that you need to.
I think there's a level to it, though. You don't want to put yourself in a total echo chamber. You want to be open to outsider questions and at least have. I mean,
true.
And that's the reason I listen to other.
There comes a point to where excess information is also unnecessary. I mean, I don't need to hear another word out of Fauci's mouth because none of it actually adds anything to my life. Because that guy's a lying little sack of weasel. You can see it in his freaking eyes. Anyway,
I don't know that the CDC is lying about anything or any former members.
I'm not saying CDC. I'm just saying the Fauci's a little freaking weasel.
Or any former members of the CDC.
I didn't go down any rabbit holes. Don't start jump. I'm just saying that he's a weasel. I can't say that he looks like a freaking weasel.
I'm not really wanting to talk about that at all.
All right.
In the end, God bless Aaron.
Yeah, because Aaron
got
him those glasses.
I think Aaron overreached everywhere. He held in his own belief.
Aaron's got a big heart.
Aaron is an
took
amazing
advantage of that. Now that he's got his glasses and he's got his voice out there, he doesn't need Aaron as much. He's going to find another outlet because that's what he'll do.
Well, no, I guess they're talking about still doing shows, but they're not going to be calling shows. And I don't know. Hopefully, what I want from Andy is that he stays on topic and doesn't worry about, what happened with the show before. If he spends if he goes back on Aaron's show and spends an hour and a half talking about why he's no longer doing Aaron's call-in show, that's a fuck up in my mind. If you want to talk about your information and actually get it out, don't talk about stuff like that. There's just a level to those things.
That is just
Aaron bent over backwards trying to help Andy.
Yep, because he respects him. I mean, Aaron's got a big fucking heart. I love that guy. And so I'm really glad that he finally got Corey Good on there. That's freaking fantastic. He's been wanting Corey Good.
This is his second time with Corey Good. He's already had an interview with Corey Good.
I know, but this is going to be a regular.
They actually might be setting up. He said they might be setting up something similar to what he did with Andy, where he's going to have more of a regular thing with Corey, which would be awesome. Like Corey's one of those people that. I mean, when you're talking to people like Andy, you can talk to people like Corey and so on and so forth. I feel like he's in that ball game. I don't care what anybody says. He should be talking to those kind of people. And he's worked his way up the ladder. He's been about truth for so long. I mean, I've learned so much from Aaron. And, I give nothing but gratitude to Aaron for half the reason I started this channel.
We met on Aaron's show. We wanted to talk about things that we couldn't talk about on Aaron's show. You wanted to talk about things that we couldn't talk about on Aaron's show. So, and now you're worse than Aaron because now you understand how difficult it is to maintain your channel and not get knocked down because of stupid shit. So and that's what I was trying to tell you on Aaron's show because you were calling in wanting to talk about all kind of things like AJ and that sort of stuff. And that's what launched this thing. Rumble for now is not blocking many. I mean, even BitChutes blocked the video. recently. It was supposed to be released, but it stayed up on Rumble. So I'm going to be looking for that as well later on. Rumble's a good platform. The problem is it doesn't have a lot of traffic. So it's not YouTube. I mean, YouTube is the king.
I got to jump
but
in
they
here.
They have too many fucking rules.
So Terry gave us a classification the other day. I don't know if you caught it. He called us the classmates or the classroom. And our classmates consist of me, you, Terry, Mud Rabbit, Tiffany, and Olivia as well, I would say. And we were all jumping around from show to show the other day. And we caught like 4 shows in a row. It started with Tiffany's show. Then we jumped to my show. Then we all jumped to Aaron's show when he went live. And it was just epic. And he classified it as the classmates. And I was like, oh, I love that classification. We're all classmates. We're all here to learn different stuff from different people.
Hey, I love the Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club was fucking fantastic.
Oh, there you go. I like that reference too.
Aaron is, I can't say enough good about Aaron. I want to be able to help him because I know that he has he's by himself, man. He doesn't have anybody to really back him up. He's doing everything on his own. And he does so much for so many people. When you hear Aaron's story, you figure out how much he's actually done for a lot of people. What he did for this last Andy is just a long line of the things that Aaron is always thinking about somebody else.
It was something that both sides were willing to do. I feel
like the thing is that Aaron is always thinking about somebody else. I mean, I know it's obvious,
but it was definitely a contract between the two of them. I don't think it was.
No, you're talking about the show. I'm talking about the glasses. I was talking about the glasses.
Oh yeah. No, that was something that Aaron definitely volunteered on his.
That's 100% Aaron, and that's the kind of guy he is. I mean, that's why I like watching the show.
He also had help from Michael Reinhardt, who's also a friend of mine and a friend of Andy. Well, I don't know if he considered me a friend, but he's a friend of mine on Facebook, and he also contributed to that, and he also runs Andrew Basciago's Facebook pages. I apologized to him online a long time ago for some dispute that we had back when I was following Andy a long time ago, and I was just upset because Andy kept doing live shows on other channels, and I was never finding out until after they had already premiered. And he was doing live call-in shows where you could ask a question. That's the main reason I loved everything that Aaron was doing, is because you knew Andy was going to be there. You could ask a question. And the only reason I didn't call in so much is because I wasn't trying to actually flood the lines. I wanted to get other people a chance to, but they weren't actually asking questions about Andrew's experiences. And that's where I think it ended up getting down, a rabbit hole of I understood.
Kind of different hole because it didn't go the way they expected. They wanted a certain outcome.
I mean, that's the dice.
Reality does what reality does. People
exactly. That's the dice you got to roll when you're playing that game on the internet.
Thank you very much. You can't expect everybody to go along with your narrative. People are going to have their own willingness and curiosity and things that they want to know, and their questions and their perspectives that they want to feed into to be able to expand. And so it's all going to be different. It's going to come from different directions, and it's sometimes going to be things that you don't necessarily agree or enjoy, but it's a little vertente. It's a little tangential line that goes off that they caught on to, and you own it because it's what you do. Terry was. I think I actually heard your conversation on Aaron's show.
I don't know if you. So that's why I know you don't follow along as well, because Terry came on my show and me and him talked about his experience. I was on with Terry, brought Aaron on the show. The three of us were talking about Terry's experience that involved Aaron and Andy Basciago, and then Terry called into the show that Aaron did later that day. So if you want to fill in all the gaps, you can fill it at any time.
I've got lots of gaps. My wife calls me a narcissist, and I guess she might be right. Yeah, I'll try and
I
fill in
also,
some.
yeah. Before we get off, I want to let you know I do have more videos for you, especially because I have a private stock of the off-air videos that I'm not releasing.
I'll want to see those just
I
for
don't know
my
what
own
I
private
don't know
little
what
library.
platform we're going to
Lots
put
of
them
good
on.
conversations went into those.
Oh yeah, and I don't know what platform they're going to end up on, but we're going to have to find a platform to release these on, and make
Go
it
on
so it's
Rumble.
appropriate.
And I'm following Aaron's show on Rumble. And it's showing up on my
Same.
email, so I get it there. So yeah, that's pretty cool as well.
But I actually do have to run. I appreciate everybody being on tonight. Penna, I'm surprised we got at least 2 hours in. I'm surprised we went so late, but I appreciate it. Sometimes we'll go for
It's
6.
an early night, actually, for us, to be honest with you. At the 5.5 hours and 6 hours.
Planning clip note explanation of timeline meeting and show to show when I come on your show, because I want to get that storyline straight myself. I 100%. We'll talk about it before you come on, because I have it. Like it, as soon as you started talking to me, I figured it all out how I wanted to do this. I was so happy that Aaron was willing to do it with us. But yeah, he jumped on, and it all just worked out in this perfect arc. Oh yeah,
I'm gonna have to watch that show.
Terry's got a show on the 19th on this channel, so you can tune in, and we'll get it all laid out for you if you don't get a chance to catch it before that.
Well, dude,
but that doesn't even cover our off-air topics. We haven't set a time yet.
There's lots there. You're building a kingdom, my dear Jacob. Enjoy yourself. Terry, thank you. Have a wonderful night. My brother, if you're still there, thank you very much. Tiffany, thank you for showing up. Who else was there on tonight? Did I miss anybody? So cool. We're on. Tiffany, I'm glad you accompanied us there. Been watching some of your channels. I subscribed as well. So the classmates. All right. I like that. The classmates. Breakfast Club has been done. We need something new. So yeah, we're the classmates.
Do it.
Good night, John Boy.
Man.
Good night, John. God, I remember that. I used to love that show.
That movie?
No, the TV show.
Oh, I was talking about The Outsiders. Do it for Johnny, man.
Oh no, I'm talking about John Boy. The Waltons TV series. At the end of the show, they always had all the lights and they'd all go off. And John Boy was the youngest one. And so the entire family, because they all lived in the same house and there were wooden walls, and so you could hear everything. And so the dad said, good night, John Boy. And the mom, good night, John Boy. And then the sister, good night, John Boy. Good night, John Boy. Good night, John Boy. So the whole family at night would say good night to the last littlest one. And it ended as that was the outro for the Waltons. Good night, John Boy. And everybody just, the entire house did that. So that's in the Wayback Machine. You got to be pretty close to a half a century to remember the Waltons, definitely.
Well, that's the perfect reference to end it on then.